Good seeing you here for Devos. And so we're on Mark chapter 8. And again, this goes right along with our weekend sermons. Now, in Mark chapter 8, what I want to look at today here is the power of remembrance. I spoke about remembrance this last weekend. So you want to remember the great sacrifice that men and women paid, shed their blood, most of them younger, so we could enjoy our freedoms. Let us remember what Jesus has done for us. I always pray, Jesus, if you never do anything for me ever again, which he does all the time, you did enough by forgiving me of my sins. Okay, but he's talking about something else. Watch. Mark 8, verse 14. Now, we talked about yesterday about not, be a sign-seeking Christian like the Pharisees. And they said, don't get the leaven of the world, the leaven of people like that, to spread in your life. Now, look what he says here. They leave that group. Remember, they had the feeding of the 4,000 we looked at a couple days ago. They get on a boat. When they get on a boat, remember, they fed all 4,000 people, actually maybe 12 because of children and spouses. They had forgotten to bring bread. They had all that extra bread. They forgot it. Get on the boat. And they had only one loaf with them in the boat. Okay, now, the disciples are talking. They're not talking to Jesus. But Jesus knows what's going on because he's Jesus. So Jesus says to them, watch and beware. Watch out, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. Notice, I read that yesterday. Why do you say that? Because they're talking about the bread and they're upset and they're worried because they don't have enough food. Okay, this is crazy. He just fed at least 4,000 people. Now look at Mark 8:18. He goes, look, having eyes, do you not see? Having ears, do you not hear? He goes, and do you not remember? Like, are you brain dead? Come on, you have eyes. You just saw me feed the 4,000. You have ears. I keep telling you, and don't you trust me? He said, your brain, don't you just remember everything you just saw? Okay, now, he goes into a series of questions here from that verse. Notice he says, do you not see or understand? Or are your hearts hardened? Do you have eyes and you not see, ears that fail? Don't you remember? All of this. Notice he's full of questions. He wants them to think about. You need to think about what you're worried about. You need to think about what you're mad about. You need to think about what you're harboring in your heart. I told somebody yesterday, if you don't forgive that person, how they hurt you a long time ago, it was big. The Bible says God will not forgive you. Don't you know that? Think through what you're doing. Let's start walking by faith. Jesus recounts the miracle of the loaves. So he brings up all of the loaves. So look what he says in Mark 8:19. He goes, when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, remember there's feeding 5,000 chapters ago. How many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? They said to him, there were 12, and 7 for the 4,000. How many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? And they said to him, 7. And he said to them, do you not yet understand? He said, we had no food. You saw my compassion. He goes, you didn't want to feed those people. I wanted to feed those people. You watched, I fed the whole 5,000. We had all this leftover food. Now we just had the feeding of the 4,000. You were there. You didn't want to feed them. I had compassion. I wanted to feed them. We had all this extra bread. And now I see you're on the other side of the boat and you're freaking out because you only have one little loaf of bread. Really? Okay, that message is for you and me. What are you worried about? What are you afraid he's not going to provide for you? Look, so here's all the math. He goes, don't you get, see everything I've done here? Remember personal experiences when God has intervened, provided, and answered prayer. Now, I do this all the time. Because I got something big up, I don't know what to do. Then I pray about it, and I go, oh, God, I remember. And I go back to answer prayers, miraculous things. I know you're going to do it again. This is how you build up your faith inside. Look, trusting in God's continual faithfulness He wasn't just faithful then, he'll always be faithful. Because Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Look, God was faithful before, and he is going to be faithful again. Do you believe in that? Okay, well, let's live it.